So what I'd like to do is just have a quick chat through the emergency drill things, and this is more of an open discussion with people. Is what we're doing enough with drills? Okay, and the discussion last year that was had in here with people was that we weren't doing things wrong and stuff, but quite clearly we've had 2 out of sequence problems in the last year, which thankfully for us haven't ended in fatality. But it has in both Poland, out of sequence on an advanced system where the pin kept the container closed. So it has a single pin like a strong, clear flexi pin. It was damaged. The guys pulled the primary. It's released the 3-ring release. It's the same sort of thing as it's a center lift point though. And it's pulled and it's locked on the pin. It's locked the pin on the closing loop, so the container's not open. The guys pulled the secondary as per his drill, and then just cranked the reserve out, and they've entangled. Okay. In Lodi, it was the guy was out of sequence with a deflated drogue again. That was an issue with poor training, poor drills though, but that's why we do the drills. That's why we hammer them home. And that's why it's important. So it's, are we doing enough? And we're not saying that people are not doing the drills. That's the one thing I wanted to make clear to people. I don't think people are not doing the drills. I see a lot of people discuss a lot of stuff over riggers and see people around from the different examiners from the different courses when they come to Hibblstow. And we're not saying that people are not doing the drills. So don't please have that. But we have had 2 out of sequence. And you don't practice for a game of poker by playing snap. You know, so is what we're doing correct? And that's why I want some feedback from you guys. You know, is bi-monthly enough? Should it be more? Straw poll. Who thinks that bi-monthly is sufficient for doing the drills?
I think it's sufficient if you're doing it properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you take it seriously.
Yeah. Who thinks that they should be done more frequently? Who would like to see them done more frequently? Who would accept being told to do them more frequently?
Good.
It's been recorded, I can't swear, but I'm like...
You did.
And that's the thing. To me, that's where it's got to come from. People have got to suggest it and put it forward. If it comes from him, or ex-him, or the other Brummie, you're not going to accept it, you know. Whereas I think, and this is one of the things from these days, sort of thing, if we get that feedback as a whole, and the one thing I do think is actually I'm preaching to the wrong people here. You're the converted. You've bothered to come. You've bothered to learn, and that's it. But it's getting information out when you get home. That's the thing for me. So the general consensus is that people wouldn't have a problem if you were told to do them more frequently. Clem.
What we started doing at Headcorn is every month, every instructor who's being videoed, their drills are checked. And it's quite surprising, even if you tell them, we're going to check your drills on this skydive, they often forget. They're not ready. They need to be ready. But now people, because they know they're being checked, they are doing their drills. Not drills before they leave the aircraft and in freefall.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that with my job. I work between the 3 drop zones now, and that's it. And I go in and I audit, and they don't know when I'm coming in. And I go in, and I sit, watch a load of videos, blah blah blah. So I'm checking, and those are guys who are not BPA rated in a foreign country, but they still do what I think is important: checking in the door, and checking in freefall. And I won't accept just cursory checks in freefall. It's got to be done properly, because when it goes wrong quickly at the wrong altitude. And I'd rather our guys are fully prepared, and I'd rather do something like that and never ever have to use it. I don't want them put to the test. Okay, cool. Yes.
I think some of the problem is not just doing the drills; it's the quality of it or the speed you do. Because you watch people in the harness, they smash through it correctly because they've done it for years. They instinctively know the drill, but you don't get into the point as well. Okay, you get out of the aircraft, you put the drogue down, you know. What's the worst thing you can do? You know, be prepared like what you must know your container. Yet when we read around the world, we see people open the container. So people learn the drills, but they don't really understand what the sensation will be like or what it will look like, you know, and all that sort of stuff. If that list started off as a day's memoir, But when you see people hanging in the harness, they just smash through the drills. They don't take time to picture, you know, what orientation we're going to be, at what point this is going to happen, you know, what's the worst thing I can do right now. You know, make sure you don't do it. We just smash through the drills all the time. It's just handle touching. And I sometimes think we don't actually slow it down and say, look.
What we've done at Hibblestow, what I did at Hibblestow was because you do pick up that list and like you say, oh yeah, bags out. What I do is I do the same sort of thing. So I've got Drogues, set ones for exit going wrong, ones are going wrong in freefall, and ones when the primary handle's pulled, and further ones under canopy. Because until this year, we haven't really had many people pulling things out of sequence, and all the stuff has been happening on canopies. People forgetting to pick up the secondaries, or not dealing with twists properly and stuff. So we've got extra sections like that. And what I tend to do is, if I'm doing it, they hate me doing their drills because I kind of add it together. So you're out the door, you're upside down. What are you spinning on your back? What are you going to do? Oh, you throw the Drogues, caught around your leg. What are you going to do now? Oh, you've cleared it off. It's not inflated. What are you going to do? Wait 6 to 8 seconds. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, pull that. It hasn't worked. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to pull that one. Oh, what are you going to do now? That's going to go. Now your main's coming out, and that's it. And I really try and, particularly like on the courses when we teach you, when they're in suspended harnesses, we really bully them and throw everything together at them now. But it's a matter of continuing on with it at home. So, yeah.
I think, although it's good because it means it's easy to do, having a TI can do drills with a TI, that gradient is not really correct, because trying to examine your peer, it shouldn't be a test, but it is a test. We're testing our peer on whether they're good enough at their drill, and no one's particularly comfortable at that, so it tends to...
I think we...
It almost needs to be someone of a higher authority watching you doing your drills to see if you're doing it correctly.
That's okay. It's a fair point. Yeah. Sorry, who had a question? What you're saying, sorry, was the point was, is it acceptable for other tandem instructors to be testing other tandem instructors on their drills? Do people feel right and putting their friend under pressure? I think a lot of people do, because I watch our guys do it, because we train our guys and Rob and I only clear them once we've watched them doing the drills with people. And it's recorded, so they can't get away with not doing the drills with people. And that's one other thing. Yes.
You've also got your senior tandem instructors, so they might not be an advanced instructor or whatever, but they're more senior.
Yeah, yeah.
And more
That's my
experienced.
point, basically, is should they be someone of a slightly more senior position, at least watching them do it? Or would a chief instructor, should they be present when people are doing drills?
I think it should be down to your chief instructor to say who can and can't do the drills. That's my opinion. Yes, Pete?
I mean, if you look at the drills that are happening that are actually killing people, coming back to the sequence stuff, or the wrong response by the instructor, and a lot of that has just been on autopilot, it's job 19 of the day. So I think, we should make part of the education about what's the goal. The goal, you should break it down. First, just get out of the aircraft, be upright, and get a clean drogue throw. Once you've done that, it's pretty much easy after that. Isn't it? We get people go out and put down their foot, or it's the unusual stuff. It's the stuff, if you ask them to explain it to you, they can't really visualise it. They've never even seen a video of a picture of it. And it's that depth of it.
I think
that crux moment when it's been a long day, you think, it's the out of sequence, it's having the drogue around yourself, that's the stuff that's going to hurt you. It's the bag out. And I sometimes think, that those three things are just another tick out of, 12 mouths, for instance. I think maybe we should take a time occasionally and say, right, guys, this is
not to make you feel... Hank's got a lot of experience. To me, that drogue was coming out far too quick. Far, far too quick on the exit. But it's probably been like that for the last 13,000.
Mix it up.
So, but has anybody told you it was too quick? Had any of your peers? Because this is where Josh comes from. This is the other thing, sort of thing. Had any of your peers said, "Come on, slow down, man. That's not right." So that's. Say again.
You'd be led by the camera fly.
Yeah. So that's one of the things, and that's where it does become difficult. And I think that's where an internal mentoring thing, which can remove those levels, is important. You're quite right. But
I'd like to answer that one. It's in the manual. There's a recommended pause.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. The manual is there for a specific reason. It covers a lot of these areas, and it's tested over thousands and millions of tandem jumps over time. You can always argue whether things can be adjusted and stuff, but they are based upon experience and feedback in the field over many, many years. So there's a reference there to go by. And the same thing, you know, the exit, it all starts somewhere, and these things start slowly moving away from the norm into becoming the new norm. And I know Tom's going to touch a little bit on that later as well. That things change without really noticing them. So once in a while, you have to take a step back. You have to go back to basic. You have to review this. You have to talk, maybe invite somebody in from another place to kind of see, are we on the right track? Even though we think everything is right, are we still on the right track? Because the little changes can make a big difference in the long run.
Yes, John.
Isn't that one of the things that logically should be covered under your self-audits? And on certain days, somebody watches the exits. Hold on, so-and-so's pulling a bit fast here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good thing to have on your self-audits.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And like Henk was saying, we wouldn't clear a category student. We shouldn't be clearing a category student if they're weak pulling handles. And they actually think about it. They get more testing because we put pictures above them, and you get them.
Yeah.
We test the recognition.
Yeah.
Whereas we're doing it auditory. We're telling you what the problem is.
It might be an idea to go more visual, not just, you know, shouting out a line to your colleague and say, oh, you've got this, but make it more visual so you have more connection to the situation. It's a possibility. You need to get yourself as much as possible in that mental state to be able to react on whatever happens.
So, and it was one of my worries is the people who jump in between Sigma and Next on the same day. Although we are rated for both, there are subtle differences between them. Is anybody actually doing? I don't have any feedback. I mean, I might be wrong here. It might be a worry, but it doesn't exist. Is it actually happening? Are people swapping between two systems that you're aware of?
We do it at Chatter's.
You do at Chatter's.
I used to at other centres, but I don't anymore.
You do, Lee, do you?
Yeah, all the team do very much.
So it's just having that awareness. So do you practice the drills in both the Sigma configuration and the Next configuration? Do you practice, you know, doing them monthly and stuff like that? Do we need to do more on that? Because that's my worry, that there are, like I say, subtle differences now with the on the Sigma with the bag open, container open. So the on Drogue release, the Drogue snaps. The drill now is.
Sorry?
If in freefall, you pull the Drogue release and the Drogue snaps.
Opening, it snaps up.
Yeah.
Let's check if container is open. If container is open, disconnect RSL. And then release the rises, and then as much as possible the main need to go, and then fire reserve.
Which is slightly different from what we're teaching on the BPA system, with the Drogue goes with the Next, which is straight to the reserve.
Yeah.
Which is something that I would like to bring up with the Tandem working group to have a look at, because there is an issue now, which has arisen in that Paratech say pull the cutaway and pull the reserve, and they're saying that you only have one drill then. As we are actually teaching Tandem candidates, two drills, to pull the cutaway or just to dump the reserve in certain cases, and I have concerns about that now. So,
Still within, if you jump to systems, you've got to do so many jumps on each system.
yeah, you have to do a minimum number of jumps. You have to do 10 on each system to maintain your rating.
That's not a lot, but you know.
Over 12 months. So yeah, and that's the thing. But
there's many people jumping on multiple systems, but I think the teams that deal with it.
yeah, so it's just. And has anybody had any issues which they want to bring up from the drills or what they've done? What I would like to add on to the drill sheet is now the camera flyer in tow. We've seen that, it can't happen. Okay, we saw the video last year of it happening. I don't know if it's going to pop up again. And who as a cameraman has never been hit by a drogue?
Didn't Noah Stevenson get entangled in the Drogue?
Yes, yeah. But but is there any other experiences? Have people had anything which they think should be on the drill sheet? If people, I could either say now or speak to me afterwards, or drop me an email. If there's any other experiences people have had.
Well, the UPT tree and Purcell, they've got it's much more how do you call it, extended basically.
Mhm.
It's a lot. They even have now also the 2 canopies out. I mean, with the BPA, we don't. It's up to us if we check our peers. You know, like, hey, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in a situation where you have one arm dislocated? Talk in that kind of scenario. There is much more to put onto it. But what I like from the BPA drills, it's human. The UPT drills, with all respect, they're inhuman. It's so much. If you have to know all that and then under a stress situation, well, it's serious. So I understand the BPA about open container, go straight for the reserve and don't go RSL. The other thing is the awareness. How do you know that your container is open? Because if the container is open, the bag is in, you won't feel it. So your container might be open, but you not feel it. So there's a lot of things with the identifying and then the action of RSL or straight reserve. And I like the BPA one by going straight for the reserve.
Okay, Rob first. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to touch a bit more on what Pete said. You're talking about the drill sheets, just from watching other instructors, especially when I visit instructors coming in also. The drills becoming automatic and almost people aren't thinking about it. The drill sheets for me as well at times, if you'll be using them, we're just scrolling from top to bottom. So it becomes so natural, you know what's coming because you just learn the drill sheet. So when you take that to the slide, I think it's a great help for anybody.
Yeah, everybody's waiting for the bag out. Waiting for the bag out, you can't find the drove. Everyone's waiting for it, aren't they? And everyone's primed. And it's coming up, but you're not expecting that on every single jump. So what we're doing is we're expecting everything to. We're expecting a success. We're not prepping for a failure and having a fail-safe system. We've got it slightly half-cocked. We've got it cocked the wrong way around. And yes, there's only 60-odd miles in 55,000 jumps, but you know it only takes one of them to be out of sequence, and the next time the luck's going to run out. So, right.
Yeah, something I think is really important, and I've kind of preached to our guys about now. You think about any other sport, right? Sport coaching, modern sport coaching. It's all about visualisation. People, if you're a cricket player, they'll visualise the ball coming at them and they'll do it again and again and again in their mind so that things happen perfectly. Then they get on the pitch and they do it, whatever sport it is, and magically they get better from it. Personally, when I'm doing drills, I'm trying to visualise what is going on with the equipment. Try and steer yourself away from thinking about just memorising a sheet of paper, because when it happens to you, there's no sheet of paper in your head. You need to visualise the equipment and what's actually happening when you pull that drogue release, what is physically happening behind you.
Yeah.
The biggest problem you have as a tandem instructor, if you have a problem, is correctly identifying it. It's all been on behind you.
That's it.
Okay.
Is there scope for better training aids? I mean, I remember when I did my course, the stuff that came out for drills, I mean, you know, it was all held together with gaffer tape and stuff like that. Do we need better equipment for testing drills?
Yeah. Well, we are in the
PTOs now.
we are in the process of that, and we're going to try and tap up UPT for some old containers. It's very generous of you, sirs. Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, rather than yeah. I mean, I am mortally embarrassed when I have to tie a golf ball on with a piece of elastic, but it's the best thing that we got at the time, sort of thing. So yes, we are looking at it, and we are being nagged. Yes.
And there are some PTOs there. I know at least one in Netherhaven. The setup of how they train their students, the category system. They're explaining about videos, and they're hanging, and they make it really real. And I don't think with Tandem skydiving goes so much money around that it would be wise maybe to top it up, make ourselves students again, and train ourselves as students. So when something happens out of the ordinary, we are prepared for it basically. So we do it with students, but maybe we should treat ourselves again as students.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, Pete.
I mean, you know, a lot of this goes back to the tandem instructor and tandems going like raindrops around the world. Just read the incident reports, because you know when you're tired and you're skipping corners or you know stuff like that, all you got to do is read what's happened to another guy and go, I don't want that to be me. You know, we go on about it's all about touching handles, but it's not. The game starts before you get to the door. You know, you just got to achieve a good exit. Get your drogue up, happy days. You know, most of that sheet's gone then. All you've got to do is pull the deployment angle and deal with it then. And I think we overcomplicate it, and we should look at our mouse list. So, well, what are the things I need to achieve on this skydive? Well, I need to get a good student position, get a strong exit, get the drogue away nice and clean after the delay that it needs. Most of the work is done. And you know, we don't teach, when guys are hanging in a harness, you know, a perfect example, when guys turn up to the courses, they understand the sheet and they know the sheet, but they do not understand the equipment. And that's where they get confused and lost. They don't know what they're trying to fix. They can't visualise it, and we as a community, when we send our instructors to the courses, we haven't facilitated that.
To be fair to the courses that we have done, because I got asked to do a follow on from race sort of thing, and one of the things we do is when they do the packing on the course, as we're lifting it out, we run through what can cause the drills, we talk about the things, because a lot of people don't understand why you wait 6 to 8 seconds. You know, and it's to give it enough speed. Well, no, it's not just that. It's to stop it. It can open it before then, and then you've got a bag and a container open, and it rolls. And
ways of getting beyond that.
Yeah.
POV video footage, because you know a lot of stuff like you said, it's really can be quite difficult. What we've got, you know, look twice, fix the problem once.
Yeah. But we do a thorough explanation when people do come on the course. But I think that part of the problem is that people get so much on the course and they're so fixated on the drills that some of that information will be lost, and it needs to be repeated again and again and again, sort of thing, to people, so they do have that understanding. It's not sufficient that they've been taught properly once on the course why we pack a drogue like that. It needs to be continued on, and that's the recurrency, not just for drills, but like you say, it's for looking at your exits, for looking at everything.
We get to the courses where we can fix a lot of this, because it does take time to learn it. It is a complex system. You are under stress. Shit does happen. All right. We just got to get people's heads in the right place for it.
Yeah.
Would it not be worth concentrating the drills more on the BIs, so then you can put in place what you'd like, and then they can obviously work on it back at their establishments when they get back?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Concentrate on the drills more on the BIs course.
To be fair, you can go on the CS.
Can I just say something on that? From where I am, from where I see that, okay, that's very much BPA preparing the guys. We do not prepare the guys. We assess the guys. Okay, so I would like to see more PTOs doing the work at home with the guys, preparing them to come on the course. If somebody arrives on a tandem course and their drills are not good enough, that's, you know, we make an assessment, sorry, you're not getting in the air. So I'd like to see more preparation from the PTOs, but yes, on the TBI courses, we try and inform them on all the other bits that tandem's all about. The only difference is they don't jump. We try and get the guys as prepared as, but it is down to PTOs to get these guys prepared.
Yeah, but Jeff, not everybody does a TBI, do they?
Correct, but it's still down to the PTO to prepare the guys to come on a tandem instructor course.
Just to follow up on that then, Jeff, what about a bit more guidance for the chief instructors then on what sort of a structured sort of thing for them to prepare the guys on?
Okay, I think one of the things that we're looking at out of this discussion is maybe formulating some form of guidelines to help PTOs when it comes to doing the bi-monthly drills for tandem instructors. Okay, so yes, we've had a discussion here that everybody does the same drills, everybody knows the drill, yeah, great, all right. But maybe by submitting a guideline of changing, okay, different ways of doing it, how you can benefit from putting different scenarios in there, what's the best way to reenact these scenarios, maybe something along those lines, and hopefully that will give a better understanding for the guys when they come on the course. And also, when we finish the tandem instructor courses, we always recommend the guys, you now got a tandem instructor rating, we advise you to do your drills as often as possible. Do they? That's down to the PTOs, isn't it? Down to those individuals. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, right.
And also, when we examine people, we examine what's in front of us. So the PTOs have sent us, you guys along to go and get examined. Also, the individual's got to feel ready as well. The amount of people that try to sort of pull the wool over our eyes because they know that they're not totally prepared, but they're thinking, I'll get through this and I'll go back and I'll be able to square it away. And there's been a couple of occasions whereby I've examined a guy, I tell somebody, okay, you've got to be sure that you're happy, what we said before, don't be afraid to say no. If you're feeling tired, if you're not feeling quite with it, then you don't do it. lo and behold, you'll see somebody on the next course coming back, naughty boy in the suspended harness, got out, didn't deploy a drogue, and then started pulling ripcords and wondering why it's not happening. Have a chat. How can you be putting yourself in this situation when you've only had your rating 2 months? What's going on? Oh, it was the PTO. They made me do 10 tandems that day, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, you know, it's big boys' toys, we're adults, it's your life as well as the person on the front. The guy knew that he was too tired to do the work, and he did the work. So you can keep blaming the PTO, maybe they should have put it, but if they put it in front of him, I can assure you that every tandem instructor, I don't know anybody that turns around, well, I do actually, that turns around and says they're too tired. I'm one of those that will say, I'm too tired. But that guy didn't, and yet he was trying to blame the PTO. You've also got to recognise it's down to yourselves. We can give you the tools, you're all experienced skydivers, you all know when you're too tired.
Just a quick one, sorry. I think we have to be honest with ourselves as well about the duty of care and level of responsibility we take on. You look at, when Noel asked the question about how often we do drills, are we happier to do them more often? Most of us put our hand up and say we'd actually do them monthly. How many people have actually made the effort to go and do them more frequently than 2 months? Most people are saying, yeah, I'd quite happily do it, but without being cynical about it. I bet most of you don't, but you're all saying you would. So really, your responsibility is to yourself, because the only person you're looking after yourself is the talent in front of you. And you've got Josh obviously asking questions about the person doing the drills with you. It's a responsibility to yourself that you can tell the person you're doing your drills with as well. But for me as a chief instructor, I'm not going to allow someone to do drills with the talent instructor I don't think it's capable. But for yourself as a talent instructor, when you're doing your drills, if you're looking at them and feeling, I don't really think you're competent, then you have the duty to yourself and the PTO to go and say something, don't you? And vice versa, in the same course, obviously, like Noel said, we're preaching to the converted. In this room, people are here because they want to do things the right way. If you go back to your centre, that's some of the stuff Pete's gone out is really good. How many people are raising this with their chief instructors or with the tandem instructors that aren't making the effort? And because we know some people are able to do it. You can step in yourselves as tandem instructors and get involved in the audit process that goes on as well. Systems checks and that sort of thing.
Cool. So if anyone's got any other feedback or they've got any ideas, and send them through and we can look at it. Be interesting to see. And if people have got any good video, that's one of the things. We don't have a database of the video to be able to use it to make a better training aid sort of thing. That's one of the things. And we have most of these malfunctions, as you can see from what I've reported, that they do happen each year, and let's face it, most of them are on video. So, yeah.
We always have to remember one thing as well that's very, very important to always have it in the back of the head. We talk about maintaining our currency, make sure you do the right things, make sure you study on these things and all that stuff. None of the people that get involved in these things thought they were going to be the one up there with that problem. Whether it's an incident that goes perfectly smooth, whether it's an injury, or whether it's a fatality, none of those people got on that load thinking, I'm going to be the guy. Okay? That's what we have to remind ourselves, and that should be the motivation for us to continuously educate and keep ourselves current on these things, okay? And it's easy to say, but whenever you see a report of something, it's not just some other guy. Hank stood up right in front of everybody, you know Hank. And a year ago, you might have said, I couldn't be that guy. Maybe Hank said to himself, that's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
But it can be any of us, and in time, it's gonna be someone. Okay? So we have to keep that in mind when we keep ourselves current, whether it's procedures or skill sets, etc. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Guys, what I will finally say on that is that, Noel's already touched up on it. We haven't seen a trend of people getting it wrong. And last year, 2. Okay, incorrect drill. All right? One of them actually said, I thought the drogue broke, snapped, bridle, gone. So, did he do the right thing? The drogue was there. It was uninflated. But he thought it snapped, so he pulled the reserve.